Joshua on words have power. Go ahead.
Okay. So, basically, it's very clear cut. It's not that difficult to understand,
Loud.
but it's very difficult to to put into practice. The difference between your words and your actions is very simple. Your actions are simply what you've put your thoughts into the real world. Words are simply just putting your thoughts out there. Your actions are you moving on that, which can affect one person. One person's emotion being shifted, whether positive or negative, has an overall effect on, let's say, the top 7 people that's in their lives, which affects the top 7 people in their lives, and that expands and that grows. So overall, especially if you're like a very pertinent person in your family, very important person in your family. Okay. So the issue with telling yourself that you can't do something is that it translates to your brain that you can't do something. Because when you say that you can't do something, it is you, at least in that moment, speaking it out loud. The more you speak it out loud, the more your brain digests it as a reality for you. You define what that means for you. But overall, when you tell yourself, I can't do this, 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 it puts like a sheet of glass in front of you. The more sheets of glass that are there, not only is it harder to break through, it's harder to see through. So every time you tell yourself you can't do something, it means not only is it harder to tell yourself you can do something, not only is it harder to believe that you can do something, it's harder to see the world that you did do it. That's the issue with saying I can't do this. I can't lose the weight without this. I can't. It's not that these things are an issue necessarily. It's that you believe without these things you can't do it because of what you've shown in the past. But there are plenty of things that I've shown in the past that I have since grown past. I will never have that. I won't say never, but recently, I have not had a mindset of an ignorant as an unaware, like an ignorant and like a blissfully ignorant child. Why? Because I believe I am no longer in the period of my life where blissful ignorance is enough. Because blissful ignorance means that I am just unaware of things. The older that I've gotten and the more experiences that I've gone through, the less unaware I have become. I can't take the glasses off anymore. I see it all. And I'm going to see more and more and more and more. So I have 2 options. I either act on the things that I see or I stay silent about them. Those are the only options I have. I personally believe it's better to act on them. So, for my very best, I try not to tell myself I can't do something. Because I refuse to believe that I will be limited not by my physical ability, not by my financials, not by family nor friend, but by the simple fact that I spoke it out loud. I took that ability away from myself. I discouraged myself, which is the only thing I have control over. The only thing we'll ever have control over. 100%. Because other people, while they might relinquish some control for protection, that's what having a family is. When you're the man in the family members, generally speaking, if they rely on you, they relinquish a freedom, if you can say, for protection, for financial, whatever you need, right?
Yes.
That's what being in debt to somebody is. You're relinquishing that, right?
Yeah.
I did that to myself by saying I can't. I am putting myself in debt. So I'm effectively taking away my protection and my freedom simultaneously. Because I can't have both. Because I've dismissed myself. I have effectively made myself weaker. I've given myself one less thing to strive for. Which gives me one more reason to just stay in the room and do nothing. We can't do that to ourselves anymore. We are too far along in our walk to do that to ourselves anymore. It's one thing if God closes the door in front of us. It's another if we willfully turn around, grab the handle behind us, and then just shut it.
Okay.
You closed it.
Okay.
God never said it couldn't be opened again. You decide to close it and walk away from it because whatever the reason may be. Because all this time, there's things in life that have happened that have proven you otherwise. But saying you can't do it as a believer, and this is not to be like on the offensive, but saying you can't do something as a believer when God didn't restrict it is effectively the same way as saying God can't help you through it.
Okay.
And I personally don't think that there's a single thing that God couldn't help me through.
Amen.
So, never sell yourself short. Don't do that. It ultimately hurts you. It might not. Saying you can't do one thing just opens up the barrier for you not to be able to do other things. Oh, I couldn't lose the weight. How could I ever start working out consistently?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I couldn't cut this part. I couldn't cut this out of my diet. How would I ever cut this out? I couldn't stop watching this. How could I ever stop watching this? Stop doing this. Stop being this. Stop wanting this. Stop striving after this. It opens up the gate to doing bad habits. All it takes is one thing that you convince yourself you can't do. And now not doing is a habit. Because you've already done it once. You've entered that state. You've set the glass wall, because I don't know if you know this, if you continuously layer glass in front of itself, this is what I was talking about earlier, the more layers of glass, it will become so you can't see through it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do you have a very, very hard wall to break through, you can't see through anymore. Which is why I said it's hard to even see yourself in that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already here. The assistance is already here. So it's not like, okay, whatever. You might as well use it. You spent the money.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's gone, because it will be gone at some point, that isn't your savior.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't losing the weight. You are. God helps. God will help us through these things.
Mm-hmm.
But what do we have to do? We have to take action, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be all glory to God.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that He wants us to stand idly by. No, we got to take the action. So
faith without works is dead.
Right.
Okay.
So you do it.
Yeah.
You lose the weight.
Yeah.
You put in the effort.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. No, I will never claim that this will be easy for you. I'm not going to claim that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I will go as far as to say it will never be easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the most healthy people, the most influential people that stay fit, that do crazy feats, the pull-up world record guy,
Mm-hmm.
his name's David Goggins. He ran or went like 100 miles in 48 hours, 72 hours, something like that. He said it himself. He was like, you want to know what motivates me? Absolutely nothing. Sometimes I will get up, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll look at my shoes and be like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I here? But if it was easy, then it wouldn't be work. And if it wasn't work,
Okay.
Then there'd be no fruit in it.
I
Because
hear
if you can just get up and do something today, that's within your ability. For you to wake up and be like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, I don't want to do this, I can't do this. To say that to yourself is the proof that it's work. And is the proof that you've done something. It's that part of you that will almost always be there that is like, we can take a break. And we don't need this today. And this and that. No. That's why Ileana doesn't believe in cheat days. Because all you need is one cheat day. She believes in a cheat meal once a month. She has one meal. That's what she wants. And even that is controlled.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I understand, that's what she does. I just want to get by one day at a time and cheat. Okay, I'm putting this on video like this to hold myself accountable.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I've been on hundreds of diets.
Well, you don't have to be on diets. That's the issue.
What do you mean?
Because the diet tries to set a precedent for you. If you just do it yourself, then there is no precedent. You have to work to see how it works. Diets don't work for everybody. Keto diet's not going to work as well as it works for Kathy Sue. Like, it's just not going to work. Intermittent fasting won't work as well for every single person. Is it effective? Does it work? Absolutely. 100%. Noah lost, like, what? I don't know if there was a short period of time where he cut a good amount of weight.
Oh,
It's not like these things don't work. It's that it's like that, or diets, or little tips and tricks. We're kind of putting our faith into a system. So when that system fails us, like it inevitably will, because they all do, functionally, eventually they all will, if we have the wrong mindset about them, then we kind of just throw our hands and be like, it's not worth. It's like it's the work that makes it worth it. It's not going to show in a week. It's not going to show in 2 weeks. It's not going to show in a month. It might not even show in 3 months. It could take a whole year.
Oh, God.
It could take it. That's not to say that you won't lose weight. I'm saying it can take a long period of time. But that's not the point. The year goal is not the point. It's the walk to it. It's what you get when you finally get to where you want to do. It's the skills that we build on the way to the top that matter. That's why it will never ever be as satisfying when you get to the end. Why do you think that so many people that have taken these long goals, I don't know if you've ever seen people that take long goals, really long goal for themselves. And at the end, a lot of times they can record it. And at the end, that person is not ecstatic, happy, crazy. They're content. Because their ecstatic, happy, crazy was losing their first 5 pounds, losing the first 10 pounds, the first 15. And, oh, I like eating this, this, and this. I'm going to incorporate this more. Oh, this is the way that I like doing things, and it works. This is me doing this. This is me doing that. They're more happy about building and finding the way that works for them than the end goal. Because what mattered the most was not them losing 50. It was them losing that first one. And seeing that it was possible. And learning something from that first one. Say it's easier for them to not eat 3 meals a day, but eat 5 smaller ones. that works for them because that was better for them. They space out their meals, which makes their metabolism faster, which makes you be able to digest food faster, which overall helps the effectiveness of losing weight. That's what works for them. That's what matters. It's always the journey, not the end. If you keep going through the journey with the only thing in mind is the end effectively means nothing.
Why you say that? Wait a minute. Say that. Why?
If you are at the top, or if you are at the beginning with the only thing in mind being the end, you've learned nothing. I'll give you proof. I'm living proof of it. My high school journey, from freshman to senior, my goal in math was to finish math. And what? I learned nothing. Not that I didn't get taught, but I wasn't implementing these things. I wasn't really focused on these things. What I was focused on was getting through math, because personally, I didn't like math. I didn't. But, you know what I do like? And this is an example. Back, start of COVID, when I first got my Switch down here, I was playing a game. And I wanted to get good at the game. So you know what I did? I practiced. I practiced a lot. I practiced a good bit. Could have practiced more, but I practiced a good bit. And it wasn't about being number one. It wasn't about being in a tournament team. What I found the most enjoyable, yes, it was stressful more than it was releasing. Yes, there's a lot of stress going into it. What I found really exciting was, oh, there's a new move I can learn. Oh, there's a thing that I didn't teach myself yet. Oh, there's technical aspects of this. Oh, this is how I deal with this. This is how I deal with this person, this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. I have different approaches. I have different pacings that I can use. And I can control the pace in the match. I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. What was fun was the systems that I made to being good. It was not getting good. It was the systems that was progressed to be there. That's not to say that you can't be happy at the end. You finally got to the end of the goal. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. But if that's your only goal in mind, then you'll find every cut and slice and easy way to get there. Because a lot of times, our goals are linear, but we build exponentially. Linear is just a line. So imagine a diagonal line. Exponential goes like this. Down. And then it rockets up. The difference, linear is a constant state of progression that ultimately leads us up. It doesn't go anywhere else. It's always going up. But that is not how skill building and focus works. That's not how building a skill works. It's more closer to exponential, which immediately puts us at a baseline level and brings us at a dip, which means that we will be lower than where we were because we cannot be proficient, because our baseline is our habits that already kind of work. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's what our baseline is. Mm-hmm. But I don't want things that kind of work. I want things that work. So what we'll do to like get better and get more proficient is, I'll use another game for example. This game called Overwatch. There's a lot of things that you have to learn. One thing is, so I had my baseline. All of it was autopilot. So I played the game on autopilot. All I did was, it was just focus on autopilot for like 10, 15 minutes. And then I get out of the game and I was like, wow. I didn't think about a single action that I did because it was just off the brain. First thing I like to focus on is, okay, I'm going to pay attention to my team. So I have my baseline of how I pay attention to the team. How it really goes is more something like this. I get lower than where I actually am, or where I was, I should say. I dip because I have to use my brain to properly think about these things. And since I'm not used to it, I'm much slower on everything else because it's the only thing I'm focusing on. So everything else is now slowed down. My pace is slowed down. I'm not as efficient. I'm not hitting everything I need to be hitting, all that kind of stuff. I'm not as efficient. But as it comes back up, it shoots up a lot faster than a linear growth. Because it's multiplying. It's not adding by an even number, it's multiplying. So now it's up. And now that's my baseline.
Okay.
So it's about building skills to get to something that you can just do naturally. That is like rolls off the tongue for you.
Okay.
And then you don't stop there. You have to build another skill, which means what? You have to slow yourself down again. And be willing to fail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times. And mess it up. And it not feel as good. For you to find something that works. Now for a diet, failing does not mean cheating. It means finding something that you didn't like. Something that you didn't necessarily prefer to do during the diet. I didn't like this workout. I don't like this meal. I don't like how this works. It's fine. You're allowed to do that. Because the ultimate goal is finding something that works for you. Because you want to get things that are best for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it's best for you, it's easier to be like, okay. On the days that you are a bit hyped up about it, it's like, all right, cool, this is great for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the last thing that is the most important is you have to really, this is the most important thing to focus on, which is is discipline. It's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because
well, with food,
without I forgot what they it was a it's a Denzel Washington quote, but it's something along the lines of, without a goal you'll never start, but without discipline you'll never finish.